Hey y'all, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb live today. Y'all excuse my tardiness. It is raining here in Medellin, and sometimes when it rains just a little bit, the internet go out. So I have my computer connected to the Wi-Fi on my phone. So hopefully it still works. Hopefully I don't have too many problems. But y'all, it's like this internet here is sensitive. And y'all, look, my hair. I was outside. My hair got wet. I got caught up in the rain. But anyway, I'm here. I said we gonna make it do what it do. If the audio sounds crazy, it's because I'm on my camera right now. So I have my phone charging because it was about to die. Y'all, YouTube just comes with so many technical difficulties, but I'm here. I'm here now, and today we gonna talk about how there was an activist who's like a pro-life activist, messed around and found out and got punched in the face during an interview over some things that she said. Okay, so I'm gonna wait until y'all get in here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. If y'all want to see what I'm eating today, I have some egg, avocado, and some cured meat and cheese. Like, I'm trying to do right and not be eating a whole bunch of carbs and stuff. So I need my protein. So I'm gonna wait for y'all to get in here. Y'all hit the like button. I'm gonna pull up all the receipts. Let me say this, and I've said this before. I'm an independent. And there are certain things that I believe that are spot on with Republicans. These days I lean more conservative, right? But there are things that I disagree. That's why I don't say I'm a Republican, because the vast majority of the Republican Party, I feel like, are still traditional Republicans. Like, there's a difference between the Republicans that left the left or left the Democratic Party and the Republicans who are like traditional fundamentalist Christians. With that said, I'm very much pro-choice. Very much pro-choice. I feel like women should have the right to choose. Now, I'm not an extremist. What up, Jamal? Why I gotta always be first? You know what, Jamal? I rock with you heavy. I rock with you hard. And I appreciate the support. Y'all hit the like button now. I'm not an extremist. I feel like unless the mother's life is at risk or there's some serious complication, you shouldn't be able to get an abortion all the way up until the baby is almost due. No, you need to decide rather quickly what you finna do. I feel like after 14 weeks, you pushing it. So I'm pro-life up until a certain point. Like, you just get an abortion just to be getting it? No. I feel like after 14 weeks, there needs to be some type of very serious complication. Maybe the baby don't have a brain or something. Or, your life is going to be affected in a major way. I feel like most of the country is that way. And when you have people on the left who say it's just between a woman and her doctor, and a woman should be able to choose no matter when she gets one. No. That is what creates that extremism, is what makes people be like, okay, well then we just shouldn't be able to do it at all. If I have to choose between you unaliving a baby in your stomach at 7 or 8 months and us just not doing it at all, not allowing it at all, I'm going to choose not allowing it at all. That's the thought process of a lot of people. Me, I'm going to always stay in the middle of it. Like, I believe 3 months is fair. Yeah, by 3 months, you should know. That's 12 weeks, right? Between 12 and 14 weeks, you should know. You should know what you want to do. Okay? Anything after that, no ma'am. No ma'am. Mm. But It's a hot button issue. A lot of people are upset that Roe v. Wade got overturned. I personally think that was the best thing that could have happened for our country. And we need to leave it at that. Because nowhere in the United States Constitution does it give the federal government the right to regulate abortion. It doesn't even give the federal government the right to regulate unaliving. Per the 10th Amendment, that is a states' rights issue. So it's unconstitutional for the federal government to act like they have any jurisdiction over that. If you unalive a person in your own state, that's a state charge. It's not a federal charge. So we shouldn't even be having this conversation on a national level. I'm for states and people that live in that state and people that live in their communities deciding what they want to do. If you want to be able to freely get an abortion, go move to a state where it's allowed. Now, to be clear, a lot of y'all not gonna like living in them states where it's allowed, because yeah, like they got abortion rights, but everything else messed up. I'm from Texas, so it's not allowed at all in my state. But like when I think about all the benefits that came with living in Texas, I would much rather have lived in Texas than New York. Period. Our governor is not messing up the state. Okay. No woman should be mad at Trump's Supreme Court for overturning Roe v. Wade before getting mad at Obama, who did not keep his promise to codify Roe. But here's the thing, it's not even constitutional for them to codify it. It's not. You have a constitutional battle that you got to deal with first. Right? There's too many legal problems with it. That's why Roe was never going to stand. Eventually, it would have been overturned. Furthermore, I remember, when, what's her name, Kamala was running, the Dems tried to make it seem like Trump was anti-abortion, when I can pull up several clips of him saying he's not anti-abortion. He agrees with abortion up to a certain extent, just like what I just said, but he ultimately believes it should be left up to the state. And I wish people would just let it be. I wish those on the left would let it be. I wish those on the right would let it be. Leave it alone. The problem is people like to control others and what they do. People want to be right more than they want to have peace in this country. It's a states' right issue. If the Constitution don't cover it, there's a reason why the states have a right to govern themselves the way they want to govern themselves. It's like going to a different country when you go to each state. Okay, so what you say, Jamal? I don't know about that girl. He had the House, Senate, and many Democratic governors and federal judges. He had the mandate. I'm not disagreeing with you that Obama could have got it done. That's not what I'm saying. He chose not to get it done. But here's the thing. It doesn't benefit Democratic senators or Republican senators to actually try to move on this. You have to understand, during election time, this can be a hot button issue. For example, during Kamala Harris's run, the Biden administration was so terrible that the only thing she could scare people into voting her for with is Roe v. Wade and abortion rights. You get what I'm trying to say? Now she could try to make it seem like, oh, if we gotta will codify this, or we gotta stop, America from turning into the Handmaid's Tale. And then when it's Republicans' turn, they can say, we gotta be pro-life. So they have something to weaponize as long as they never settle it. So, but my point was, it's not that Obama couldn't have done it, or not that he had the mandate. Even if he did do it, it's unconstitutional, is what I'm saying. Ew, states' rights is Reagan terms. No, that's not Reagan terms. That's just the fact of the matter. It's just the fact of the matter. I went to school for a political science. Like, I studied constitutional law. It's just the fact of the matter that it is illegal to pass federal laws on abortion. It's just the fact of the matter. That's not me saying that. That's the 10th Amendment. Exactly. But unlike the Dems, GOP wasn't pump faking. I thought Roe v. Wade would be around forever, and that issue would eventually go away. The reason why it's never going to go away as long as people are trying to do things at the federal level is because as long as it's unconstitutional, you have a basis to contest it. The only way that they could make it constitutional is to pass an amendment. That would be very difficult to do. It would be very difficult to try to pass a bill on it, let alone try to make an actual constitutional amendment on it. Because that requires more votes. They're never going to do that. Okay, I'm pulling up the video of this chick. And my point in saying that, Jamal, is even if they don't, let's say the Republicans were to pass a law banning it across the country, it wouldn't take long before that. All it would take is a Congress that supports it to overturn it, or somebody to contest it in court. It would be a Supreme Court decision away from being overturned based on it being unconstitutional. Give me a second. Here it is. Okay, I'm pulling up that interview. All right, y'all hit the like button if y'all just came in. So why was Roe not done away with in the Reagan era, and why Obama didn't try for it in 2009? I'm not sure about that. You know, first of all, well, there's a couple things. I mean, you need the right people in the Supreme Court at the right time, because all of this is being done based on Supreme Court decisions and Supreme Court precedent and how they're interpreting law. That's it. The reason why I just kind of explained to you, though, it doesn't benefit either party for them to settle this. It's a hot button issue. They never settle hot button issues. As long as they can keep us arguing over hot button issues, they have something to run on. If they actually do something about it, they don't have anything to run on. I just think it was never a situation where the Republicans had everything in their favor to actually overturn it, is what I'm saying. And not just that, this requires a court case with the perfect plaintiff to make it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to decide to hear a case on it. They pick and choose what cases they hear. So it's kind of like everything has to line up correctly. This is so frustrating, man. I feel like we should just leave it where it's at. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause myself and share my screen and play this video. I'm going to mute myself. I'm sorry. Okay, so before I play this video, I want to give some context to this. Now, I've watched this girl. Honestly, off the top, I can't remember her name, but it's not important. Y'all will see how she conducts herself. Now, I've watched her do other interviews before, and she is very antagonistic. Me personally, I feel like it's okay to interview people about politics, but you have to go into it with good faith. Okay? Some of these people that go around interviewing people about politics are trying to catch you in a gotcha moment. Like they want to make you look stupid, right? Um, One person who I can think of off top that does this really well and people still kind of act crazy with him is Nick Shirley. Like Nick Shirley will walk up to people and he asks genuine questions. Well, what do you believe or why do you support this person? Can you give me a reason? He's not trying to make people look stupid. You know, they end up making themselves look stupid. This girl is not on that. Like she's trying to trip you up. She's trying to make you look stupid. And one thing I will say is that a lot of people, they might have the right idea about something or they might have a logical thought about something, but you would be surprised the amount of people that don't know how to articulate their thoughts. And you have to be patient with those people when you're talking to them or they get frustrated. But when you are acting in bad faith and you're trying to make a point when you talk to people and it's not genuinely about trying to understand what they think, then you can make people feel dumb. And then when people feel dumb, they can react real violently. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that's the fact of the matter. That's how people behave when they feel like you've made them feel stupid. So you have to be careful when you're interviewing people, especially about politics, because people tend to get emotional. Okay, so I'm going to play the video. Give me a second.
What I'm saying is in general, overall, if I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Just don't have sex then. Just don't have sex.
That's not even logical.
It is.
Dumb as
It is.
Who are you, Nancy?
I sound dumb. I sound dumb as okay.
It does, because even as teens, people explore. And it's like, as funny as you want to be,
well.
people should still have the choice.
So you went from saying that my outfit was really cute to saying I'm an effing idiot. That's so mean.
But I think that
You
your
did.
point of view is very obstructed, and I think that you just don't understand the magnitude of having a child.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been
That's
abused.
not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Dang, I'm still mute. I'm sorry. Okay, y'all. Y'all see how that went 0 to 1,000 real quick. And what's crazy is it started off very polite. So I'm gonna play the entire interview from beginning to the end. What you said, Jamal? Why would she say don't have sex? Then that's asking for it. I think it's just so unreasonable to tell people not to have sex. Can I say sex on YouTube? I think it's just unreasonable. It is the right idea, you know. I think you have to do a lot of work on yourself and be extremely disciplined to not have sex. Like it's not a easy thing to do. And I feel like I tell people this too, because I was talking to some of my friends here in Colombia, and it's been a long time for me. I'm not trying to put my business out there, but it's been a long time Okay. And I'm not gonna say it's not hard, but then it's easy too, because I'm a type of person that I like what I like, and the conditions have to be perfect. I'm not the type of person to meet somebody in a bar and then boom, we're leaving and doing it that night just because I felt like it, right? The person has to be right. Let me say that. The person has to be right. I gotta feel right about it. Like, so for somebody like me, especially like the older I'm getting, like I can't even find anybody that I want to do it with. So for me, it's easy. So I don't even try to make it seem like I have better morals than anybody else. It's just the way that I'm wired, right? There are some people though who can see somebody and they get feelings of having sex. I'm not like that. I can see somebody that's extremely attractive and I don't get turned on by it. I can notice they're attractive. I don't get turned on. There are people who see attractive people and get turned on. Right? So for people like that, or people who just randomly be having feelings of doing it and they gotta get it off, it's very, very difficult. So I think we're being unreasonable to ask people to not have sex. Oh my God, nah. She needed that. I'm sorry. The F is wrong with this lady. But even to a celibate person that's ignorant just on principle, yeah, I think that's just it's ignorant, it's unreasonable. Good afternoon, sir. You and Mariah went crazy yesterday. Oh yeah, we talked for a long time. But I figured out I have to keep my lives below 2 hours, or else StreamYard will not let me automatically generate clips for shorts. So yeah, they was like, nah, we not going through all of this. But what's up, Denali? It's good to see you, brother. Okay. So I'm gonna share the whole interview. Give me a minute. I'm gonna mute myself because I don't have my mic on and I don't want y'all to hear the echo.
I love your skin tone too.
Thank you. Such a good vibe.
Of course.
Well, awesome. So we're asking people's opinion today on Planned Parenthood. Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know what they provide?
Yes. Abortions.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Safe abortions.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know any other services that they provide?
I know, like, to teens, if you're under 18, you could get like birth control, condoms, counseling. They offer a lot of, beneficial things that the youth really should use right now.
Okay. So you have a pretty positive view of Planned Parenthood.
I mean, majority. I don't know. Is this like a yes or no? Am I
It's
wrong?
your opinion.
But yeah, that is definitely my opinion. I feel like, especially as teens, people get caught up in things that they really don't want to commit to for their entire lives. So if you get caught up with the wrong guy, you think you're in love, and then whoop, now you stuck. Not stuck, but you're stuck.
I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000. I'm gonna try to teach my daughter right, put her up on game, tell her to wait till marriage. That's gonna be the standard. That's what I'm gonna tell her to do. But if, heaven forbid, something happened with my daughter to where she get pregnant as a teenager, we going to the clinic. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be one of those parents where oh, you got to deal with no ma'am. No ma'am. Because I already know. The perspectives for your life and what you are able and possible to do significantly drops. It don't mean that she not going to be able to do it. It just means it's going to be way harder for her. I already know how hard it is. I'm a single parent myself. I already know the mistakes that young mothers make and the resentment that a lot of their children hold because you're not even mentally mature enough to handle being a parent. And guess who gonna have to step in if she messing up or she not doing right? Me. So, baby, no, we ain't going to the clinic, baby. I'm sorry. People can feel a way about that. That's what we doing. What's up? From Cali, salute family. And my bad, I got going. I can talk forever. You should have jumped on. Yeah, you should have jumped on, D Mally. He jumped on before. I'm gonna let y'all jump on the last like 45 minutes. I still can't believe Planned Parenthood was founded on racism. Margaret Sanger, who Hillary called her hero. I mean, it was. That's true. So Margaret Sanger believed some races were more inferior or superior to others, and Planned Parenthood is a form of population control. But I'm not mad about it. Like, okay, I don't like her ideology. I'm talking about now in 2024. I see the functionality of it. You know, you may not all the way like something, like honestly and truly, it's not something to take lightly. Choosing to not let a life blossom, right? Or choosing to end a life, I don't have to sit here and lie to myself and be like, it's just a fetus. Yeah, the scientific term is a fetus, but like on a spiritual level, you are deciding whether or not a soul is going to pass into this earth, right? I can say that. I feel like if you're going to be pro-choice, then you need to be able to understand the weight and the gravity of the decision that's being made, especially if you're a woman. That way you can understand the weight and the gravity of your actions when you're out here moving. So two things can be true at one time. This could be a really heavy, bad thing to do, but there can also be a necessity for it. And I'm saying that this girl's going to make a point later on in this interview. I'm saying that as somebody who went through the foster care system for 4 years and met children who had been there their entire lives. Because parents that either couldn't afford to have them or didn't want them to begin with or unfit had. I'm not saying those kids should have never been born. If you're here already, you're here already, right? But let's be real about what happens to those children. A lot of them get in the system. The system makes money off of these kids being on psychiatric drugs. So by 3 years old, they're putting them on psychiatric drugs. Before 10 years old, they're getting put on a stimulant. The foster parents make more money if the kids are on psychotropic medication. So they're lying about things happening that never even happened in the paperwork to keep them on drugs. Then on top of that, if they're going from home to home to home to home, I'm guaranteeing that they getting touched in at least one of those homes. People don't want to adopt kids out of foster care because they kind of feel like, same way people feel about adopting rescue dogs. They don't want to deal with that kind of history and bring it into their home. And honestly, I understand that because some of these kids crazy. As far as for Black children, the outcomes are even worse. They have a harder time getting adopted, and Black foster parents don't want to adopt Black children. I said this before. Hold on, let me check the comments. I said this before. I'll say it again. Ending up in foster care is worse for a Black child because Black foster parents don't want to adopt Black children. Y'all get mad about it, but I used to work, I was in CPS and I used to work for a child placement agency. Black foster parents want to adopt white and Hispanic children. It just is what it is. They don't want to adopt the Black kids that pass through their house. I know your baby daddy would be pissed. Yeah, he would be pissed, but he wouldn't be mad about us. Africans, honestly and truly, I don't even know if my daughter ended up getting pregnant while she was a teenager. I don't want to say that on camera, but yeah, I don't know. I would be very, I would have to think about if I was going to actually bring that to her dad. What's up, Sheba? What's up, y'all? That's my girl, Sheba Baby Talks. Y'all follow her when y'all get a chance. Hey, lady. Hey, chat. I just made a video on this, too. Okay, I'm going to have to check it out. And the Clintons are all about Black people, but did some of the most destructive stuff to U.S. and that hurts. I love them in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, I think we all love the Clintons. I am pro-choice for sure, but not pro-punch somebody because they made you mad. Same. I'm pro-choice. And that's why I say I don't identify all the way as a Republican. I tend to lean more conservative, but like on that issue, that like we definitely part ways on that issue. But what I was saying, Sheba, before you got on is a lot of people, they know what they feel, but they have a very hard time articulating themselves. And what happens is when they can no longer articulate themselves, they just get frustrated and they lash out. That lady was way out of pocket. And you know, Black women's temperature is very high right now. Yeah. I would have, I'm going to stop at exactly the point where she should have ended the interview and stepped away. Because it actually didn't start off bad. Let's continue.
With a baby for the rest of this time, literally the rest of their lives and your life, if you're that kind of mother, because some women just don't have it in them and they abandon them and abuse them and all kind of shit. And it's like, girl, just get rid of it if you know you're gonna do that.
Get rid of them. Why not just give them to another family that's good?
No, but exactly, even that, and that's another option that Planned Parenthood offers. So it's like, if you know that you are not the being who can provide for this child, then there are alternative options out there for you. So I think Planned Parenthood is a space that creates something that's safe for women, especially teens, Black and Latina teens, especially because it's free. You can call them, go to them. I know because I've worked with the Children's Aid Society for a long time, so we kind of aligned with them. But yeah, I feel like if, as a woman, pro-choice is your option, because men, if they want to just get up and go, they can, honestly.
They shouldn't, but...
They shouldn't. They never should. I grew up with 2 sets of grandparents and my parents, and please, everybody, lives like happily ever after, but not nobody else, but a lot of people do not experience the same kind of lifestyle or childhood that I grew up with, having 2 parents and grandparents and people to look up to and things like that. So I definitely understand why people do abort children. Don't have babies that you don't want. Don't have babies.
And like I said, the interview starts off good. She's making some valid points here. And I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000. A majority of these single mothers are not doing a good job. So she's making a valid point when she's saying the man can just get up and walk away. So ultimately, if you don't have abortion in place, all the responsibility falls on the woman. Now, an argument could be made that we need to understand the weight of our responsibility. Maybe we wouldn't be out here having sex so freely. And to that, I agree. But at the same time, I'm not here to argue theoreticals and what people should be doing, what I wish they would be doing. The fact of the matter is people is out here goofing. And they doing it irresponsibly. And me as a taxpayer, I don't want to be sitting up here paying for all these people kids and dealing with the products that come from people who are irresponsible and don't know how to raise their children right. Now you got kids out here robbing, stealing, unaliving, doing all that. I don't want to deal with it. Let me get to the comments. I understand, but putting your hands on someone over a difference of opinion is crazy, unhinged behavior. Yeah, she could have walked away. And New York is not staying your ground. She had the obligation to walk away, which is why she's in trouble now. I am Black woman and I can regulate my emotions enough. Well, okay, so from what I heard, just New York culture in general, Black or not, from what I heard, it's very common for people to just pop folks and run away. This is not odd behavior. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this girl is from New York. I don't think she knew. No question, but don't blatantly provoke them. But I understand. Try not to agitate Black women these days. Yeah, or anybody really. Because this, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna pull up Nick Shirley's interview. White people act crazier than this. White liberals act crazier than her. I'm about to show y'all. They gonna pop off way sooner. Like, this woman got interviewed for a long time. White liberals are throw the hell off. Yeah, I don't think anyone should antagonize anyone, and I don't blame you for not wanting to agitate anyone, but people need to learn when to walk away. Yeah, she should have walked away a long time ago. I agree. It comes down to not being able to contain your temper or manage your emotions. Yeah, or getting frustrated. Really, I think it was ego. People don't like it when they feel like you're trying to make them look stupid. And let's be clear, she was trying to make her look stupid. Y'all will see. She let that lady get under her skin, and it was clear she was getting fired up. Like, yeah, for sure. That's so true, but nobody is in the mood to do that these days. I would argue then she shouldn't have agreed to the interview. Or she should have walked away, because she agreed to the interview. And it's only women fighting. It's not just us fighting. Men only fight in jail outside them walls. It's pew pew. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, the situation would have been more dangerous if these were two men. I agree. So welcome to 2020 society. I agree. Yeah. If this was two men, that could have escalated very quickly. Yeah, I'm so tired of the normalization of women fighting each other in public. I blame baddies. Honestly, everybody want to be baddies. Back then, when I was in school, it was Bad Girls Club. Y'all know what? I lived in the real Bad Girls Club because I was in foster care. Y'all, we made Bad Girls Club look like, I don't know, preschool. Because, baby, the way we used to throw bows every day. I remember I had to stop one of my foster sisters from stabbing one of my other foster sisters. Like, y'all, I can't even believe I lived through that. We made Baddies and Bad Girls Club look like preschool, okay? Yes, sucker punching is common in New York. I understand and I respect it. Okay, I'm going to continue with the video.
That men are telling you in front of your face that they do not want. I wish them would stop doing that. Like, it's like a plan to.
Why don't they just stop having sex with people they don't want to have a child with?
That too. Or just don't have unprotected sex. You know, be smarter about your choices. Get on birth control. There's so many options, especially if you're like a teenager, especially in New York City.
Okay.
Children's Day Society, please reach out to them. They do a lot of free counseling, a lot of free clinical work, STD checks, abortion, all kind of things that you can go to speak to someone about if you aren't really sure before making the final decision. But to me, it's always pro-choice, your body, your life, because
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. My camera went out. My camera died. I'm sorry. I'm going to start it again. I'm sorry.
$700 million of our taxpayer money every year?
700 million. I mean, honestly, I can't go against Planned Parenthood. I just can't.
Okay.
I just
You
can't.
think that's a lot of money?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a lot of money, because if we're being honest, Elon Musk, he can literally stop world hunger twice.
Sure, but we're talking about
Still
Planned
has
Parenthood, they could stop world hunger. I mean, $700 million a year. Imagine if you made $700 million a year, where you'd be at in a decade.
$700 million for how many single mothers?
Of our money. But they're not giving it
Wow.
to single mothers, though. Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna just, single out where it is that our tax dollars go, then the police, respectfully. They beat on us I'm a black person, as black people, they beat on us, they murder us, abuse us even now with Trump pushing the immigration deportation. That's bull. Because there's people who are here who have been immigrants 55 years, who work every single day, get up, provide for their families, and haven't seen their own parents in 30.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with y'all. This is where I disagree with her. Let me tell y'all something. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. Do you understand? I'm calling the police. When I need the police, I'm calling the police. I'm not scared of the police. More times than not, the police have been very fine and kind people to me, getting people all the money they need. I'm not saying they done always been right. I'm not saying that they have not unalived people. I feel like compared to the other problems that we have, there are bigger issues at hand. I'm with Charleston White. When Charleston White said, compared to the illiteracy rates in America, compared to the rates at which black men are unaliving each other and other people. Sorry, brothers, but I mean the stats bear that out. I'm not saying that's all of y'all. I'm saying like 5 or 6% of the population is responsible for the majority of the homicides. I'm just keeping it real. We got to be honest here. The rates at which people are having kids unmarried, like when we think about all these other problems, police brutality is a very small problem. So sis, I gotta disagree with you on that. Giving people all their money. Because I'm calling the police. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do like Senator Kennedy said in that video yesterday. I'm not calling a crackhead. I'm calling the police. Yet white liberals were applauding this girl too. They off the chain, girl. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't nobody as bad as a white liberal when it comes to getting in their feelings and getting violent. Yes, yes, girl. We was living real life bad girls club. Like the most famous New York sucker punches were Melo while he played for the Knicks, and when Havoc got punched on stage. Dang, I gotta see that. Yes, your computer rebooting. Are you trying to be funny, Jamal? You forgetting when Joe Budden getting punched by Wu-Tang Clan? Dang. Okay, hold on. I gotta go back and see all these. Thank y'all for saying y'all some real ones. I agree with her up until the illegal immigration part. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree on that too. To me, being a New Yorker and being for illegal immigration is wild, in my opinion. That dude, Cash Jordan, here on Cash Jordan and Nick Shirley, they go out. Well, Nick Shirley goes live and he'll just do a live stream and won't edit it. And he'll interview people. So it's not like cherry picked or stuff he's editing. The situation in New York is crazy what they're dealing with because of illegal immigration. The amount of crime, the streets look dirty, people stealing stuff, then selling it on the street, the stuff that's happening on the subway. Cash Jordan, who lives in New York, makes videos talking about it. So to me, to be a New Yorker and be pro-immigration, especially at this point in time, while y'all city is going to hell in a handbasket, is wild to me. Not just that, you got homeless people in New York who can't even get a place to stay. But you had the city of New York using taxpayer dollars to put people up in luxury hotels like the Row Hotel, and they were paying $300 and $400 a night, giving them money with cards on it, giving them cell phones. And like, this is not stuff I'm making up. Y'all go to Nick Shirley's channel. These immigrants are on there telling what they're getting. I dated an NYPD officer. If you in danger, you got to call the police. Yeah, I'm calling the police, baby. My cousin is a police officer. I'm on that NWA Black Panthers ish when it comes to them boys in blue. And they've mostly been respectful to me and vice versa, but not my homies. They felt that Billy Club. Dang. Oh, I couldn't imagine getting beat with a Billy Club. I think this girl is Dominican. Her cousin was claiming her on TikTok, and maybe that's why she feels strongly about immigration. Yeah, a lot of the times that is what it is, though. Like, and trust me, I get it, but if you are in this country, maybe you came from illegal, you're a product of illegal immigrants, or you got family members that's illegal immigrants. Baby girl, you got to decide if you are going to be, I'm talking about nationality, because I know ethnically she's Dominican. Baby girl, you got to decide if you're going to be an American or if you're going to be Dominican. But you cannot be both. And if you're going to be an American, you can't support stuff that hurts the working class of this country. So I don't respect it. It's a lot of people who want the benefits of being an American, but when it comes to actually supporting the working class of America and what's beneficial for us, they don't want to support it. And me, myself, before Joe Biden got in office, I didn't really care too much about illegal immigration because it was just something that, I'm from Texas. So we always had Mexicans and Central Americans coming there illegally. I grew up with them. So for me, it was like, this is just regular stuff, And I love the Mexican community. And I'm not saying every Mexican is illegal, because there's a lot of Mexicans in Texas who have been there since, before their family been there since before the Mexican-American War. So don't think I'm trying to be racist with what I'm saying. But when they just let the floodgates open, it's kind of like this. You can do something for a while, and as long as you're low key with it, you're not going to have enough people that care enough about it to do something about it. And I think that was what was going on with the immigration debate for years before the Biden administration. People didn't feel a way about it enough because it didn't affect them. But our governor, Greg Abbott, he changed the game when Kamala Harris and them opened the floodgates to the border. And he was like, okay, if y'all gonna move like that, if y'all gonna let everybody from around the world, because it wasn't just Hispanics, it was from around the world. If y'all gonna open up our borders like that, the sanctuary state's gonna deal with it. So what happened is when people actually had to feel it, it changed a lot of people's mind about it, including mine. And we didn't even feel it as bad. We felt it, but we didn't feel it as bad because our governor was shipping people on up on out of here. You feel me? So anything done too much, too over the top, is gonna be a negative thing. Girl, y'all love Cash Jordan. I be watching his videos every day. Y'all please hit the like button if you're just now coming in. That lets people know that I'm on live. He used to do real estate videos, but he switched to cover the migrant situation because it was so bad. Girl, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible. The stuff I would see in the videos, even now, like, it's off the chain in New York. I couldn't imagine living there. NYPD is actually pretty good at their jobs. Yeah, during the 70s and 80s crack era, they were horrible. But in the 2000s, during War on Terror, they stood on business. Yeah, I like Dallas PD. In my opinion, they're some of the nicest police officers you could ever meet. And a lot of the force are minorities. Jamal, I guess in the 80s and even 90s, NYPD was very corrupt and was blackmailing drug dealers, but they have straightened up a lot. It's way more Black and Latino NYPD officers nowadays. I feel that same way about DPD too. They took full advantage of the Patriot Act. Black police showing out for the white cop. I had both. Like, I've been in situations where I had to deal with both, all of them, Latino, Black, white cops, and for the most part, they've been cool. I had a white cop do me a solid one in a situation where I should have got a felony charge. He didn't even give me a ticket. Yeah, Texas wasn't playing. Yeah, okay, let me continue the video, y'all.
30 years, and now they come to this country, they build a better life, they can't even make it to go back home. Like, now they're gonna get deported, they gotta leave their children. Like, it's so extensive. There are so many other issues that we need to worry about as far as women's bodies and their rights. It's crazy. But as far as being a woman, in any city or any state or any country, you should have the right to decide what you want to do. I shouldn't be forced to raise anyone's child because the state feels like this is what's beneficial. Oh, we need to be producing more children. Oh, there's such a loss in reproduction. We don't have money. There's no finances for reproduction. Like, this is why you go and you get an abortion, because I don't have
just like how you said we shouldn't be forced to raise other people's kids, we shouldn't be forced to pay for other people's abortions, because half the country, they don't believe in abortions, whether that's for scientific reasons, for religious reasons, and we should respect.
Okay, y'all, she's actually making a valid point. Even if you're pro-choice, I'm pro-choice, she's actually making a valid point. If the federal government has no jurisdiction over abortion, and per the Constitution, it doesn't. That's why this will always, any Supreme Court decision on abortion can always be overturned. And unless there's an actual amendment made to the Constitution, which will be very difficult to get done, per the 10th Amendment, this is delegated to the states. And she's absolutely correct. If you have the half of the country that doesn't agree with it, then we shouldn't be funding it with federal tax dollars. It should be allowed. It should be something that you can do if you want to do. It should be something, in my opinion, that doctors can offer. But it should not be something that federal tax dollars are going to. I actually agree with that point. And another thing is, I know people say, well, if the feds don't pay for it, then people won't have be able to afford it because it's too expensive. Actually, a lot of the times, because the federal government pays for something, the cost of the service goes up. I'm willing to bet, and now they don't, but I'm in a lot of cases, but I'm willing to bet if the federal government completely stopped funding abortion, the cost of the service would go down. It's kind of like with college tuition and how that skyrocketed because of these federal student loans. And people knew, like, we were going to have access to this federal money because they're going to approve it. Like, everybody getting a federal student loan. And then the cost of college tuition just went up when it used to be very affordable to go to college. It's kind of the same thing.
That, right? If you want to go get a procedure, then you should be able to pay for it. Do you agree?
Not necessarily.
Or somebody else should pay for it.
Now you put me up in the air, because saying that we're paying for a procedure is like, you want to get a BBL and my taxpayer dollars are paying for your silicone. That's that's different.
How is
As
it
opposed
different?
to be me being a 14-year-old girl in the Bronx who's gone through any kind of molestation, rape, anything. You really don't know what people go through. And I need to abort this baby, and I don't have the right to, or I don't have the funds to, or I don't have the means to at all. Nowhere to go. There's no Planned Parenthood. There's no Medicaid. There's no anything that's beneficial to a younger youth, especially someone who's afraid to go to their parent. You can't go through your insurance. It's a lot. So to me, there's a difference in that because taxpayer dollars pay for police.
I'm going to say this, y'all. The system, it can't be perfect. And I get what she's saying, right? If the feds don't fund it, you're always going to have some people that slip through the cracks. Like, I absolutely empathize with a young girl who got touched or something, and she needs to go get this, she needs to go handle that, right? Like, I empathize with that. But then there's this other part of me that's like, for the sake of peace in our nation, the federal government shouldn't fund that. You feel me? Like, things can't be perfect is what I'm trying to say. There has to be a sacrifice somewhere. I hate to say it like that because this is terrible, actually. But it's just the reality of the situation. I'm a realist. I love Chicago. One thing I will say, Chicago residents stood on business with the migrants. Yeah, they was eating their mayor up. Y'all made it known they weren't wanted. Man, I remember when they were in some type of town hall meeting, and a black woman told the mayor, Tom Holman, y'all come get this man first. That wasn't her exact language, but she was eating him up. And it wasn't just the black residents. I saw some Chinese immigrants, legal immigrants. The legal immigrants was like, baby, nah, y'all got to come get them. As much money as I spent trying to get my visa or my citizenship, y'all got me messed up. Y'all got to come get these folks. The CPD would pull my big bro over and just jack his stuff and say, get the F out of here. They trashed his mother's place, poured ketchup down the TV, and extorted the hell out of him. What the hell? That sounds like a whole game. True, but not Brandon Johnson or the Dems. They cared more about migrants than residents. Yeah, that's true. Brandon Johnson is off the chain. Federal or state funding for abortion should be there to a degree. I believe in state funding. So, for example, the state of New York agreed with illegal abortion. And I'm sorry, they agreed with illegal immigration, and they use their citizens' money to pay for all these illegal immigrants. They are a pro-choice state, and I have absolutely no problem with them funding abortions in their state if that's what they want to do, because the majority of their constituency is pro-choice, and that's what they're voting for. But in the state of Texas, that's not a good idea to do that. Yeah, I think so too. What's up, GMS? Welcome back. Yeah, this was funny. GMS. Leaving it to the state level makes the most sense to me. Yes, in my opinion. If you got a problem with it, go vote in your state elections. If an abortion is $500, government should pay first time. Second time, $300. Third time, that's on you. People should live live where their values are. I agree. 3 abortions is actually very wild. Hold on. If you can't have a conversation with someone with opposing views without antagonizing them or trying to provoke them, then you shouldn't be doing street interviews. I agree with you. It's too dangerous out here. Her whole purpose is to antagonize. And the thing is, again, I don't agree with this woman hitting her. She should have walked away. She's too big and too grown for that, right? But at the same time, this lady, it does a bait and switch. So as y'all saw at the beginning of the video, she started off real nice and cool. Her line of questioning and reasoning was reasonable, but then she gets to acting weird. Then she gets to antagonize.
Who are still corrupt. Pay for doctors who should be paid more because they literally save lives every day. Should go to nurses who put their lives on the line in emergency rooms, on the streets, who are literally legally obligated to do so. It's like, why aren't they getting the money as opposed to us providing the money to the billions that we just supported in the Ukraine?
Yeah, every Planned Parenthood has donors as well because they're a 501c3. So if you want to donate to Planned Parenthood, that's totally fine. You do that with your consent. But the issue that I think a lot of Americans have is that they don't believe in abortion, or they just don't believe in paying for other people's medical business, and they're being forced to through taxpayer dollars. So it's really interesting because since 2010, prenatal care has been down for 80% since 2010 at Planned Parenthood. Adoption referrals. So this is why this is research straight from their yearly report of 2022 to 2023, I believe it is. And so they're a 501c3. They have to tell us what they do every single year. So this is straight.
Which should be any union corporation. If we are paying tax dollars towards you, I need to know that you are doing the job and doing it correctly.
Right. But let me continue to tell you. So the STI testing and treatment down 15% since 2019. Client numbers down overall 34% since 2006.
Nobody has insurance. I don't have insurance.
Donors
And
down
I'm a
21%. Contraceptives down 44%. Breast screenings, manual breast exams down over 80%. And you mentioned adoption. They commit 228 abortions for every one adoption referral. So why are they getting so much more money yet all of their services are going down?
The services are going down because people are afraid. Women.
What are they afraid of?
Women don't know. They don't know what they're exposing their bodies to. A lot of people, especially behind abortion, there's a stigma that if you get an abortion, you can never have a child again. So it's like a definitive decision. And this is the whole
There's
point.
a chance that you can't because your uterus can be perforated, but their abortions are going up. So they used to have this slogan where they said safe, legal, and rare. That's what we want, safe, legal, and rare abortions, until it was exposed that a lot of these facilities were requiring abortion quotas. So the more abortions each facility did, the more praise that they would get awards. And so it's really interesting. That doesn't really make it seem like they
I mean, there's a real simple answer for that. If you're getting federal funding, the abortions pay out more money. That's just that on that. So yeah, of course, Planned Parenthood, they're a 501c, but let's be for real about it. They're a business. So ultimately, they want to do what's going to make them more money. I know broads who do SMEX work who done got 8 abortions in very progressive states that point you catching bodies. Yeah, they catching hella bodies. But I mean, do you really want a woman that's in that line of work and is extremely desperate to have kids? I'm screaming. I remember that. They were going off in that town hall. Yes, girl. With Brandon Johnson, girl, they ate him up. Yeah, that town hall is exactly what was needed. They didn't play. Right. What's up, B. Mally? You back? Trump says leave it to the states. I think so too. Here's the thing. Constitutionally, you're supposed to leave it to the states because per the 10th Amendment, it is a states' right issue. For those of y'all who don't know the language of the 10th Amendment, all matters that are not addressed in the United States Constitution are therefore delegated to the states. There is nothing in the language of the Constitution, nowhere that gives it, the federal government, jurisdiction over abortion. Just like there's nowhere in the United States Constitution that gives the federal government jurisdiction over murders that happen within states. That's why different states have different laws over murders. So if the federal government cannot regulate intrastate murders, they have absolutely no right to regulate abortion because the language of the Constitution does not give them the right to do so. I know this because I studied constitutional law. Doctors and nurses already get paid a lot. Maybe I understand excusing their student loans. Yeah, I agree. They should they should you if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, I'm not gonna say you should be able to go to school for free because then people would start and not finish. No. If you finish and you actually work in that field, you should be able to get it forgiven. These girls are very afraid. But what feminine rights advocates will say is red states be refusing federal funding like they did under Obama just to say Obamacare wasn't working. Yes, it's all messed up. Ultimately, this has to do with money and not what's the right thing. Let's continue.
They want safe, legal, and rare abortions.
As a New Yorker and a woman, I will say I have never gotten an email that was promoting an abortion, that was saying if you need this, it is safe. This is something that we offer as a city, as insurance, as any kind of taxpayer, as any kind of beneficiary of what it is that we're paying towards. So from there, it's like taxpayer money. We don't know where the this money goes at all. Any of us, honestly, unless you're really into your politics and you're digging in the books. Like,
no, I'm into it because that's a lot of money being taken,
I'm sure it's a lot
and
of money.
it looks like it's going toward abortions. Which why, if they're called Planned Parenthood, why are they not making it so that you are planning your parenthood, not just then ending it with an abortion?
Helen Hadsell was able to win any competition she took part in. She was known as the contest queen because she had won 7 trips to Paris.
Baby, how much money is Planned Parenthood supposed to give you every month, every 2 months, every 3 months for a child? The child care tax doesn't even cover. Already refusing to provide for them prior to them even being born. So now what?
It doesn't matter if they're
be a single mom or put my body through this entirely different experience to at the end of it give them up and go home like nothing ever happened. That doesn't make sense to me. As opposed to you being put to sleep, boop boop, take the baby out. It's like you start over. It's
you don't, because we see post-abortive women and how they deal with abortion, and their chance of turning
everyone.
toward drugs and alcohol skyrockets. They have
Girl,
problems.
What percentage is that? What percentage is that?
Well, I don't have the exact percentage, but I believe it goes up 150%.
And Butte, girl. And you had the facts.
Do you know today?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I feel like the women who get an abortion and they turn to drugs and alcohol, they probably was already doing that. They just started doing it more. They probably already had a proclivity for that. I'm not saying having an abortion doesn't have an emotional effect on women. I'm sure it does, right? And I'm pretty sure it causes women. I've met women who have told me that they felt guilty or felt regret. I've also met women who told me they don't think about it at all and it's the best decision that they ever made. So, I mean, that kind of just depends on the person. I met women who have told me they would go back and do it again if they could. What's up, Olivia? Good to see you, sis. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you can make it. What's crazy is this could have been a productive combo if it didn't end in violence. Yeah, facts. I mean, I don't necessarily think I think it could have been a productive combo. The problem is the interviewer, like even before the punch happened though. If y'all go watch some of these other interviews she does, she try to make people look stupid. She's not trying to understand where they're coming from. She's trying to prove her point. That's her whole MO here. She's trying to make people stupid and she's trying to prove her point because this is what she does. She goes around and does interviews just about abortion rights. So she's heard every argument in the books. She just wants to trip you up and make you look stupid. Like, I would have rather her debate someone who could control themselves enough to check her verbally. And here's the thing, Sheba, when you come, like, she just picks people off the street who this girl's probably going home or going somewhere. She's not prepared to have a debate. This girl is coming up to her with note cards written down. She's coming with her face like she came for a debate. And she just picked a woman off the street who wasn't even prepared for a debate. People like this, though, if they were really acting in good faith, would go debate somebody who's ready for you. They don't want to do that. Go debate somebody who sees you coming and is prepared. The girl actually wasn't doing bad though. I'm gonna skip to where things kind of start to get weird and go left.
Makes sense to me as opposed to take baby out. It's like you start over. It's a new, as they should, because I shouldn't be a taxpayer paying child support, and as they should, because I shouldn't be a taxpayer paying child support and food stamps and WIC for
You
women
should be a
who never
taxpayer
wanted the
paying
baby.
for abortions?
Exactly. But as for a woman who didn't want the baby in the first place, that doesn't make sense to me. If you told me from the get-go, I can't.
Okay, pay attention because this is where it starts to go left.
Can't do this. I don't have the funds. I make $20 an hour in McDonald's, and I live with my mother, and I'm pregnant with twins, and the father told me he doesn't want them.
Why is that the baby's fault?
Exactly my point. You think I should still follow through with this pregnancy?
Yes.
Provide. Why?
Because that baby has a.
Okay, now she begins this disingenuous line of questioning. This woman just listed a set of circumstances that are unfavorable for bringing a child into this world. Then the woman says, why is that the baby's fault? Bitch, nobody said it was the baby's fault. Nobody's blaming the kid. An abortion is not about blaming a kid or putting culpability on an unborn child. That's not what an abortion is about, and you know that. And I hate when they try to put it that way, because it's not that. This is about circumstances. This is about the situation the parents are in. This is about societal circumstances. Why should a mom is going to think about this like, why should a baby have to suffer the consequences of me bringing them into this world knowing they're going to have a hard life? I'm sorry. And that kind of irritates me when people do stuff like that. I hate when people ask questions like they didn't comprehend what the hell you just said, but it's intentional. At that point, when she said that, that's when I would have walked away, because now you know what you're doing. Now you're trying to twist my words. Now you're trying to say that I said stuff that I never said.
Has a life.
That's dumb. Bring 2 more kids into this world that nobody wants.
I want
that
them.
are 80%. How? You're going to take everybody's baby?
Yes,
that's
I will.
80% baby. That are 80% more likely to get put into the system, molested.
Where is that
abused.
statistic from?
Girl. With no parents, what do you think the likeliness is of you being molested?
Here's the thing about where's these statistics from people? You know, these people that walk around with these note cards and stuff like that. You are delusional, man. These are the people who, unless it's a number, they can't see what's going. Unless it's put in a number, they can't understand it. I'm saying this as somebody who actually went through the foster care system, lived in houses with foster care kids, had to deal with that trauma, understood the trauma that they were going through, went in and out of the juvenile system. These kids getting touched, they on drugs. And if they weren't on drugs while they were getting put on drugs when they were with their parents, when they get into the system, they're for sure getting put on drugs. Because now the system can legally put them on psychotropic medication, and the psychiatrists are getting paid off of it, and the foster parents are getting paid off of it. Because if the kids are on psychotropic drugs, the foster parents automatically get paid more money every month because it's considered dealing with a more difficult child. So this woman ain't lying about what these kids in foster care go through. And I'm going to tell y'all the real. The majority of the kids that I was in foster care with do not have a good life. Are still going through terrible situations. A lot of them in prison. A lot of them dealing with homelessness. A lot of them turned out to perpetuate some of the same abuse that they went through. I'm not saying they should have never been born. That's not what I'm saying. They hear. But we got to deal with the reality. A lot of them, nobody was coming to get them or adopt them. Or people did adopt them, but then decided, kind of like they do a dog, they changed their mind and didn't want to actually deal with some of their behaviors and put them back in the system. Let's keep it a buck here. This woman don't have to pull up no statistics. I can tell you she's telling the truth. I just had this talk with my son the other day. It's hard on the grandmas, like you saying, because they are still kids. Yeah. The lady did make valid points, but things got out of hand and she was being a little too provocative. Yeah. Yes, Mariah, her point is to trap them or box them into a corner. Yeah. And y'all are going to see, like, what she said. I'm on the lady side in the end, but it wasn't right to hit her. You are right. She will never debate someone that actually knows their stuff and is ready to handle her with facts. Yeah, because ultimately, what she's saying is talking points. But when you actually have to address her with real life, she's not going to be able to handle it. She's not going to be able to handle somebody that says, you know dang well I didn't say that, or this is and that. She's not going to be able to. I don't know, somebody like this, they wouldn't be ready for me. Activist lady, definitely not from New York. She couldn't see the signs. Yeah, I seen the signs. She ain't the lady was gonna get buck with her. I don't think she knew. She must be from California or something. So you don't recommend being a foster parent? Being a foster parent, that's another reason why there's not good foster parents, is very risky. Because here's the thing. Every time something happens in the system, the law cracks down on foster parents. So if you're a person that wants to be a foster parent, maybe you're retired, or you have the money, but you just want to do something good, because of the amount of paperwork and the liability that comes with being a foster parent, you would probably get into it and stop, because the state makes it so hard on foster parents as well. It's so complicated. I wouldn't. I mean, it depends on the part. What are you willing to deal with in your life? How much are you willing to go through? I read a statistic that only 30% of foster kids graduate high school. That's true. And it's mostly Native kids who get adopted out. In Texas, we can go to college for free for the rest of our life if we aged out of foster care, which I did. And only 3% of foster kids in Texas actually go to college. And we get to go for free. Good to see you, Sultry. I think this is my first time seeing you. Yeah, that's a very cute name. Sultry Accessory. That is cute.
Let's Google that right now. Literally. Because your stats
that's not the fault of pro-lifers, though. That's the fault of people that are molesters.
People who are not pro-life. That's the
people that are not pro-life want abortions.
Exactly. That's the people who are pro-life, because you're going to say, I
don't want people molested.
I don't give a fuck about you before you're here. So why would I give a fuck about you when you're born?
I care about both.
Because 98% of the time, it's the male who's gonna say, we never decided this. This was never on my plate.
You decided it when you laid down and had sex.
You're gonna turn around and decide, I'm gonna have this baby after this man already told you, I don't want this baby. I don't want to be with you. I'm not gonna provide. And you proceeded. Now he looks bad.
Yeah. So my dad didn't want me, but my mom didn't kill me just because my dad didn't want me.
But and that's her choice.
No, it wasn't her choice.
That is
because
her
it's
choice.
my.
Because
That was my body inside of her body.
Abortion.
It would have been
That's the
unsafe
whole
because
point.
Ma'am, you was born during the time of Roe versus Wade. It absolutely was your mother's choice to have you. And if she decided not to, you wouldn't be having this conversation, girl. You didn't have no say over that. And then this whole, oh, it's not the fault of pro-lifers versus the fault of pro-choicers. That's what I'm saying. This conversation is being had at a very immature level because this is not about whose fault it is. It's about accepting the facts and the reality of life. So now the conversation is in ego right now. This is where we getting into ego. This is where this girl is making it personal. Right now, I'm glad my mom didn't abort me. Okay, cool. Good for you. But understand that was your mom's choice, baby. And even now, that it's illegal in some states. Women been having, before Roe v. Wade, women were having abortions. So understand it's always the woman's choice, whether she decides to have a baby, whether it's legal or not.
I would have died. How is an abortion safe if a baby dies?
An embryo.
Yeah, an embryo of what?
Of nothing, really.
Of a human.
No,
It's just a stage of human development.
You do not even have any kind of limbs yet. You don't even feel physical.
Some people that are born don't have limbs.
direction.
Some people that are born are paralyzed.
You need to know what you're doing. You need to just protect yourself if you can. Yeah. And honestly, don't
Mention people molesting children. We should kill the kids in foster care is what you said.
What I'm saying is in general, overall. If I don't want to,
We should kill the kids in foster care that aren't wanted.
who's going to take care of them? I need to know the percentage of people who take children from foster care and abuse them and molest them, who make them like personal slaves.
We should just kill them.
Statistics before you come to me talking about pro-life.
We should kill the victims of molestation.
I think, what does this have to do with molestation?
You just mentioned people molesting children. We should kill the kids in foster care is what you said.
What I'm saying is in general, overall. If I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Okay, so you got this woman on camera, and she knows exactly what this woman is trying to say. So she's trying to pin her into a corner and make it seem like she's trying to say, we should round up all the kids in foster care and unalive them. And that's not what she was trying to say. She's trying to say, this is why I'm for abortion, so we don't even get to that. But she's trying to frustrate this lady, and now she's saying she said stuff that she didn't say it. I think earlier, I might have skipped it. I'm not going to go back. I think like she asked, so we should kill the kids in foster care. And the woman, like, you know, she's in her feelings. So she was like, yes. But then she goes on to get back on abortion and explain why she agrees with abortion. So it was very clear to me that she didn't understand what the woman was trying to say. And she's trying to bring it back to why we need to allow abortion. So that's why she's acting so confused now that this woman is accusing her of that. You feel me? So like she knows that that woman did not mean to say that. Yes, I'm new here, but have watched you on AP before. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, AP on AP for Life, friend of the channel. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Thank you, Sheba. She really cannot tell this lady is about to pop her. LOL. All that hand movement will let me know. Facts. She's obviously a spicy Latina, baby. Yeah, it's giving New Yorker too. I agree. It's ego driven at this point. Like, what are we even debating about? They are practically off topic. So I definitely would have left. Right. this is how my now severely conservative mother is so annoying. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It has to be about when we're having these political discussions, you have to be trying to you have to want to explain your viewpoint more than you want to get one up on the other person. And when it comes to a point where you feel like it's getting heated or you're not getting anywhere or y'all is gonna get disrespectful, it's more productive for your cause to just say, hey, we just gonna leave it at we're gonna agree to disagree. This is exactly the kind of questions my severely I've already read that. Okay, let me continue with the video.
Just don't have
After
sex
baby or
then.
not.
Just don't have sex.
That's not even logical. You
It is.
dumb as
It
like,
is.
who are you, Nancy?
I sound dumb.
You
sound
do.
dumb as okay.
It does, because even as teens, people explore, and it's like as funny as you want to be,
well.
people should still have the choice. I don't give a if it's oh no, oh it was a mistake today. Oh my God, I
Do you
don't
believe in
have
God?
the option to get
Do you
an
believe in God?
abortion?
Do you believe in God?
Yes,
Do you believe God makes mistakes?
yes,
He does.
of course. Everybody makes mistakes.
But God is perfect. Are you a Christian?
I never said that.
Are you a Christian?
I would never say that.
Are you a Christian?
My family's Christian.
So you're not a Christian.
I guess.
You guess what?
Based off of what's going on and I guess my lineage is Christian. I wouldn't say that my full belief is a Christian belief. There's no abortion. You have to stay married. If you're pregnant with that man, you have to be married. There's so many like restrictions.
So sis, already y'all not gonna agree because she's having this conversation from a religious perspective, and the other girl is telling her, I don't believe in what you believe in necessarily. I believe in God, but I'm not a Christian. So you coming with a Christian sense of the world trying to debate with somebody that doesn't even believe in that, y'all are not gonna come to an agreement. Like, right, sultry accessory. It's been time to end the combo. Been time.
And constrictions when it comes to religion that is
There's a reason for that because it protects people.
But that's dumb as because religion is all hearsay, baby. All you listening to is the Bible that somebody else told you, somebody else wrote, girl.
Hey everyone, in this video, I'll take you through a beginner's guide to music.
Just what? Off the brick? Like you can't be that naive.
There
I
are
feel
over
that
40
smart
men
women.
that actually
Come
wrote
on
the
now.
Bible.
Oh my God, you want to? And I think that you just don't understand the magnitude of having a child.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been
That's
abused.
not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
What's wrong with you? Stop it. No.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. If you know you can't fight, it's probably best that you not be in these streets like that. Even if you're not antagonizing people, even if if you're very like reasonable in your line of questioning, people are crazy and people get emotional in behind politics. So if you know you cannot fight, I would not suggest that you go do these kind of interviews with people. Because like by the time you call the police, the fight done already happened. The lady was definitely wrong for hitting her, but y'all hear what why y'all see what she said before she hit her. I'm not the one that admitted that they're okay with killing foster. That's not what she said. That wasn't what she was trying to say, and it was just such an egregious accusation that I felt like the lady was already irritated. You already trying to put her into a corner, and she just got emotional and overreacted. With that said, ma'am, you got to learn how to control your emotions. She should have walked away because she's an adult. She knew she was getting heated. Walk away before it. And once she was like, oh, you're one of those, when she started getting on that Christian tip, all that, girl, and ain't nothing wrong with Christians. I respect the Christian. I respect your beliefs, But my point is, once she realized our thought processes are way too different. Our belief systems are way too different. She should have walked away. And the other lady shouldn't be going around antagonizing people, especially if you know that you just been to lay there on the floor after somebody punched you, because me and old girl would have been out there tussling. Do you hear me? That would have been a back and forth. So if you know you finna just lay on the ground and cry and talk about something, oh my God, girl, don't be out here playing with these people's emotions like that, trying to make them look dumb. God makes them say, I don't know, but she's obviously a frustrated liberal, so I'll give it a pass. And that might just genuinely be what she believes. They just don't believe the same things. They're not coming from, girl, she was down there crying, Jamal. She was crying. She was in a police car crying too. No, but like, is she for real? You just gonna fall. Like, girl. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up some videos of Nick Shirley. If y'all don't watch Nick Shirley's channel, you should. I like him. Even if you're not a conservative, if you're a liberal, I feel like his content is good to watch because he goes on the ground and he'll just go live and show what's going on unedited. So like, it's just a good place. Like, he was one of the first people. Actually, I think he was the first person outsider that they let go to that prison in El Salvador. Y'all know that maximum security prison that Trump is sending the illegal migrants to that have committed heinous crimes? Like, Nick Shirley actually got access to there and was like, did a tour of the prison, right? Like, this man is wild. They let him in. It's not like he snuck in there, but my whole thing is the fact that he be going where nobody goes before type of stuff. Okay, let me share his channel. This is his channel, Nick Shirley. He's a young kid.
Be inspired to.
What difference do you hope to make today?
I hope that we can have a government that responds to its people, to all of its people, to everyone from
Of this crowd here. Usually it's just up on the steps up there. Watch, he can't keep running. What are you gonna do? Sir, for all that running, I might as well give you $1 so you can go buy Gatorade. Here you go.
No, go away.
Here, do you want $1?
What kind of drugs do you have on there? Go away.
Easy. Hey, sir. You're disrupting our time here at the protest.
No, you're not here for the protest.
Yes, we
Go.
are.
No, you're
Yes,
not.
we are.
Go.
You know that it's
We're here at
illegal
the
if you're
protest.
not part of the protest to be over here.
Who the heck said that?
You know exactly who you
Bro.
are. We've seen one on YouTube and Instagram.
You
Go.
like him, watch him? Okay, what is going on, everybody? Look, we got a crowd coming. Dude, you touched me. Bro, get off me. He's touching me. You're touching me, dude. Get off me. I know I'm attractive, but I'm not that attractive to be following me like stink on poo. Come on, man. Get off me.
Oh, why are they following this man? Like, and it gets worse. Like, it gets crazy.
What are you doing? You're acting like a king, big dog. All right, we're out. We juked him out. Here we go.
Get off the property. Go.
Ma'am,
Go.
stop following me. All right, we're going up the Capitol steps. You guys, I don't even know what's going on. I'm in a suit too. All right, we're going up to the Capitol steps. Bro, what is going on?
We can do.
What is going on? You guys, I came in a suit today, so they take me a little bit more professional. We got this guy over here. He's upset. Wow, waste, fraud, and abuse. Bro, what are you doing?
Do not engage.
Thank you so much.
I'm so impressed.
Can you tell him to back off so we can continue our
Part of
recording?
security, he's not allowed to be here.
Part of
Do
no
not
security.
engage.
I could have brought a construction vest as well.
We got one.
For these young people. Okay.
Wait,
I thought you were trying to fight for our country.
I am fighting for our country.
Okay.
You guys get off me.
Zone 5 agitators.
I ain't no agitator.
Yes, you are.
He's the one agitating me. Ma'am, I came in a suit to be respectful for you guys today.
No, we know. We've seen you before, buddy. Just go.
Ma'am,
Just go.
Just go.
yeah, you guys leave me. You guys, chat, what is going on? Ma'am, it's my birthday today. Can you be a little bit nicer?
No, no.
Come on, it's my birthday. You guys, what is going on? Stop it. Hey. Look at. How are you guys doing?
Fascists don't belong here.
Where's your sign?
How are you doing, ma'am?
It'd be better if Donald Trump wasn't in president.
Look at him, look at him. Look at him.
Now y'all see them grabbing on his stuff? Y'all see that? What'd you say? Since when Republicans can't fight? I thought all the softies were on the left. But the thing is, Nick Shirley is not coming to fight. And when he asks people questions, he genuinely be like, okay, what are you trying to support today? Okay, why do you think that? And he lets people talk. He doesn't really argue with them. He lets them talk. But they're acting crazy. Like, y'all are gonna see the police are gonna come. They gonna lie. Like, they're touching on him, grabbing him. They gonna lie to the police and tell the police he was touching them. It's crazy.
Grab their microphone, they freak out. Bro, these.
Help! He's hurting me! Help!
You look like a fool. You know that's what you are? A freaking fool. I am. I'm looking professional. Oh my gosh.
Y'all, did y'all see that? So that man literally grabbed him. He's trying to escape and get away. And then the man starts yelling, help, help, he's hurting me. Help, he's hurting me. These people are psychos.
Help! He's touching me!
Bro, you
Help! Help!
I'm not.
Help!
What is going on? This guy's a lunatic. You guys are.
Get away from me, please.
I haven't even touched you, ma'am. I wouldn't even touch you if I wanted to.
Disgusting.
I'm not disgusting. Yes. What are you guys doing? Get your hands off me, little Antifa boy. You guys, what is...
Okay, yeah. So y'all can go watch that whole video. Y'all can go watch that whole video on Nick Shirley's channel. Like, it's crazy. Like, they show their ass the entire time. And honestly and truly, if it would have been anybody else, a fight would have popped off because they kept pushing him, touching him, grabbing his stuff, like taking his stuff, doing all kind of stuff, shoving him. They would be literally pushing him and shoving him or trying to put him in some type of hold and then be like, well, why are you pushing me? You literally are like restrained. Like, I'm walking around and you literally are wrapping your arms around me. Like, it's crazy. If this would have been somebody else, if this would have been Officer Tatum, this would have been on the news because he would have whooped all their ass. Okay. So y'all go, like, white liberals act crazy. The only reason why that situation did not escalate is because Nick Shirley remained so calm because he's used to dealing with all this. Okay, so I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to come up and speak their piece, feel free to do so. I'm gonna have the line open for the next 20 minutes or so. You don't have to cam up. If you want to just talk on your phone, you can do that. I have no problem with that. So the link is in the chat. And the floor is y'all's to come up and give your opinion or say what you want to say about anything that we talked about today. I know I said it's a call in, but I don't really know how to do that whole phone thing. And the fact that I'm in Colombia, like I don't know how that's going to actually work. It's international. I'll let someone else go first. If you want to come up, come up. And anybody else who wants to follow, you can. I can have multiple people up. So anybody who wants to come give their opinion, feel free to do so. I feel like people just need to learn to have emotional self-control. People are not always gonna agree with you. That's okay. Y'all can disagree. At the point in an argument where you feel like you're getting heated or you're getting frustrated, or the person that you're talking to is being disingenuous and that they don't have good intentions, it's best to end the conversation and walk away. I understand why the Dominican chick got mad. I honestly and truly do. But I also feel like she was not justified in hitting the girl at all. So again, y'all come up. Anybody who wants to give their opinion, you feel free to come up. I'm gonna get back on my camera. Let me put some lip gloss on. Where's my lip gloss? Tati, have you seen my lip gloss? I still can't figure out this. Okay, we'll do it later. Go find something else to do. Oh no, baby, hold on. Wrong angle. Y'all know I gotta get them angles. Okay, yeah, guys, come up. My camera back on. It's fully charged. Y'all come up. Say what y'all gotta say. Speak your mind or forever hold your peace. Again, this is your opportunity to come up and give your opinion. Even if you want to talk about something else real quick, you can. What's up, Jamal? I know that's right. Hey, brother. Good to see you again. Can you hear me?
Oh shoot! Yeah, sorry. Good to see you too. What's
Good.
going on here?
Hold on, real quick. In the chat, y'all let me know if y'all hear an echo. Go ahead, Jamal.
Okay. No, I'll try to be as fast. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, just I guess we talked that subject to death, but I guess to get into the general aspect of it, I think the bigger point is that obviously I feel like there's a political shift and there's a social shift. The thing is that I don't always know if it's like I've recently become like before I hated conservative people. I thought if you're a Republican, you wouldn't be conservative unless you're rich, racist, or religious. And now
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
starting to see. Sorry, what you saying?
I'm sorry. I felt that way too. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, I actually felt that way too until the Biden administration. What? And the 2020 election. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that too. But what happened is that um, I'll tell you exactly who scared me away. And I hate to say this, but it's feminists, it's some black women, and it's the really aggressive, very rabid wing of the LGBT wing of the LGBT aspect. And I don't want to pick on people, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't noticed that they've really kind of, I don't want to say they've gone to the dark side, but it's like they're, I don't know. I just feel like their dark side is really showing its true colors. Or maybe they feel like they have to get more aggressive now. And I'm noticing that right wingers are starting to look more, I don't know if it's the regular Christian right, which I kind of, I think they're a bit of a problem. But they're dying off. But the alt right, I think they're actually pretty cool. Like I just looked at the Republican convention, Trump's inauguration. I'm like, dang, all the hot girls are on the right, and all these mean, type of females on the left. So that's also telling. When 10 years ago, it was the complete reverse. But
Let me tell you why. Hold on, real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me
no, it's
explain to
okay.
you why the women on the right, more times than not, tend to be better looking than the women on the left. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 1,000. The right doesn't do the whole. And here's the thing: it's some beautiful big women out there. Lizzo didn't just get fined because she Lizzo had a pretty face, right? But
Well,
we're
big girls
talking
do
about
that
in
too.
terms of health and taking care of yourself. And not just that, let's keep it real. The more in shape you are, the more options that you have to date. When you
That's
out of
true.
shape, you only can date men that date women that like women that are overweight. But even a man that likes women that are overweight, a lot of them still like women that are in shape too. Men that like women that are in shape tend to not like women that are overweight. So you reduce your dating options when you are overweight. It's just facts. The difference between the women on the left and the women on the right is that the women on the right accept that and they do something about it. The women on the left have the mentality of accept me as I am. So a lot of times they go outside the house looking any kind of way. A lot of the times they just they eat and eat and eat and don't go work out. And then they say a man is supposed to accept them like that. And a lot of times they do stuff like do all this weird color hair and piercings and tattoos in random places. And conservative women don't do that. So I've had heard a lot of men say that they prefer the look of the women on the right because it is a bit more, it's not even about modesty. I'm not gonna lie, some of these women on the left, I look at them and be like, you don't even look like you bathe. And I'm not trying to say that's all. I've seen some very beautiful left-leaning women, but I'm saying you're more likely to find women who don't take care of themselves in the right way on the left, and they think that people should just accept the way they show up, and that's not reality. Go ahead.
Okay, so I take that into consideration too, and not to mention the women on the left are just getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and I'm like, bro, y'all have it, y'all like, what more do y'all want? And I get it, that's kind of crazy to say, because I mean, I don't like it if somebody asks that to black people, but at the same time, they so angry, and then on top of the fact now, when I see left politicians, you know, because I'm in Canada, so Canada is like it's in Toronto at that. That's like New World Order Central, and so these guys like Mark Carney and Justin Trudeau are right in line with the guys. I feel like they take their orders from Brussels and George Soros. So as a result, you have these robotic guys on the left. They're always offended because it seems to be almost programmed. The women are so angry. The good-looking women on the left are so angry and hostile, and they don't seem to really even try to understand anybody. Because in other words, they feel like you're supposed to get down with our program, and then when you try to get down with their program, then they want to try to punk you as much as they can. So by the time you get some money, you say, "Man, screw these chicks. I mean, I'm going over to the right because now I pay less taxes and I deal with women who will respect me." So, but I don't want to get into the gender issues. I'm not trying to do that because I don't believe in no gender wars. But
Well, it's not even a gender issue thing because I told you this yesterday. Even me just being a woman, having friends on the left, female friends who are on the left, they try to, like you said, it's like if you make one concession or if you agree with them, like you have to agree with every little thing. So they'll even try to like punk a woman or make you feel like you're morally inept or you're just the scum of the earth if you don't agree with every little thing they say. So even me as a woman got tired of it. I'm to the point now that if I'm around a woman who is a liberal and she just starts speaking nonsense or stuff that doesn't make sense, as before I would just let them talk. When they start saying race, because a lot of them are very, very racist too. And I'm not saying making jokes. I said this before. Like if you be like, oh, white people don't season their food, to me that's not racist. That might be
right,
like, to me, it's a reason for stereotypes. They don't season their food as well as black people. Now, have I met white people that can cook and throw down? Yes. That's not the same as having a visceral hate and dislike for another race. And I used to just let them sit up and say all kind of hateful stuff. And now I be checking that. I be like, I don't want to hear that.
But they ain't been through nothing.
Yeah.
But like when I don't say they've been through nothing in life, but they like a lot of times you see some 21-year-old girls who's rapidly angry at men, angry at white. It's like, bro, you ain't been through nothing. Ain't nobody did nothing to you. You just got indoctrinated that way. And then now that leads to the next group of people that really push me over the edge. And that's that so-called Black excellence HBCU crowd. Once I get to give them those goofy dudes like not Tabitha Smiley. Tabitha Smiley's a real one. It's Ricky Smiley. Those that crowd of people. When I heard the way they talk and they, oh my goodness, and then imagine if Ketanji Brown, you swear in Kamala Harris, you'll have another one from the Divine Nine. Oh my goodness. If this was years ago, I would be like, yeah, we need to take that. Now I'm like, please make sure that don't happen because they starting to really hate men. They're still voting for wars. They're still doing a lot of the same governmental stuff. It's just a lot of token, putting on kente cloths and all this goofy shit. And it's just like, bro, having a hip hop day. It's like hip hop day, bro. What about doing something for black people? So that's starting to make me mad. And I'm really, they look disingenuous. And they're not fighting for progressive policies like Medicare for all and that. And so these guys want to fight wars. They want to get into it with Russia so bad. These European liberal countries who can't fight, because the only countries in NATO that can fight are the U.S., Canada, Britain, and Turkey. Everybody else, nobody else can fight. World War I and World War II proved that. So these guys want to get into war with Russia so bad. Republicans are the ones that are like, what? Use some common sense. You're not going to beat them. We're not going to keep spending money. And you Europeans trying to woof at these guys just so you can come and call us. When you put all of that together, it's very difficult. That's why in Canada, I'm NDP, New Democrat, not the Liberal. So, so I just want to close off by saying that, like, I appreciate reasonable thinking women like yourself. And I'm noticing that, the women who are reasonable minded are tending to, like, sometimes people push you into certain positions, right? So you might start saying stuff that might be more pro-Trump because you're like, wait a minute now. We've been indoctrinated with this all this time. And you know what? Maybe we can come out and say maybe all these abortions is not all the way healthy, right? Like I said, I know chicks that did sex work that got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 abortions, whatever. And I told them, like, man, y'all might as well be King Von or Melly or something and just catch a whole bunch of bodies. Like, that's not funny, but I mean, they might as well be doing that.
I mean,
so
it's serious. They don't give it the gravity that it deserves. It's serious. At some point, you have to. It needs to affect you enough to where you change what you're doing.
Yes, and that's true. And so I guess the thing I wanted to say is that, like, I'm still pro-black, but I'm damn near almost 2 feet out of what we've known as black culture. Because number one, black culture has shifted to something that I don't know what the hell it is. I've never watched the BET Awards ever again. I don't even want to. I feel wrong supporting that, and I just feel like I have to just get off this train before I get into a train wreck. Because I just feel like the whole sort of neoliberal order is just rotten. The gentrification that Jay-Z helped do in Brooklyn, where he fake owns the Nets or whatever, all of that stuff put together has made me really upset. And I don't know a lot of black people who are on the left, unless they're progressive, that understand what I'm saying, because they're just really playing sides and doing talking points. And it's like, I can't do this no more. I might as well join a gang for real if I'm going to be down with this. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But I mean, I understand why that lady, did what she did to her because she was being provocative. But at the same time, more of that's going to happen because these women are getting really angry and they're bullying these men to stand on business. I'm willing to bet you more black men wouldn't have voted for Kamala Harris if they weren't in a somewhat way like, yo, I don't want to make black women mad. I'll take black women's side even if I don't agree with this, just because. So, and I feel like that, but now it's gotten to a point where black girls don't like me no way, but I need to make some money. But yeah.
And I I want to be able to, like, y'all know I love my, again, my best friends are Black women. You know, it's like I want to be able to ride out for them, and I want to be able to disagree with you, but I can't, because the fact of the matter is, yeah, they did a lot of bullying during the election. They did a lot of bullying. Again, I got to preface this with the majority. I can't even say some, not all. The majority, not all. The majority did a
Yeah.
lot of bullying during the election. They even bullied other Black women. Anybody that was Black that wasn't going for Kamala Harris. You know, they did a lot of bullying and they were really upset when it was like how many, it wasn't even like 20% of Black men that voted for Donald Trump, right? It was just more than what had ever gone for the Republican Party in recent history, and they dogged the entirety of Black men for it. So yeah, people are definitely tired of it, you know. So
And they need to get rid of the Kerry Champions and Jamel Hills. Them two chicks need to go because they're costing the Democrats more than they're helping. And if you want somebody to siphon off Black votes, keep sending those type of women up there, and I guarantee you'll lose more and more Black votes. And I don't want to do that. So
well, I think what they're failing to see is that the energy has shifted. I think 10 or 15 years ago, when this all kind of first started, white people act like the white guilt thing was real. A lot of the times, white people, a lot of them wanted to be allies. A lot of them wanted to speak up. Like there were a lot, but then it was kind of like, then when the white people took your side, now when they're in Black spaces trying to be an ally, then you're bullying them. And then when you see that they feel guilty and they make concessions to you about stuff, you try to bully them even more. So now I think it's gotten to the point where white people in general are like, F it. Just kind of like the lady Voodoo Doll, when I pulled up her video yesterday, and she was upset that Austin Metcalf's parents had the audacity to be sad that their son was. And it's like, okay, now and she got upset that he said it's not about race and that they want people to leave race out of it, even though their son was the one that got murdered. You know, so it's like white people are saying, damn, even when I try to take the high road, it's a problem. You always gonna find a problem. There's no pleasing y'all at this point. So we're getting to the point where any empathy or sympathy or opportunity that we had to make some headway, it is now gone. And in terms of being a part of Black culture, before all this started, it was way more fun to be Black. When I think about the early 2000s, even though we were struggling, it was a good time. Going out, we used to have a good time. The BET Awards used to be a good, like, to me, that was the time before we started making everything about race and focusing on white people and turning all of our attention on blaming white people for all of our problems. That was the time of like the real Black excellence and glamour, and you was just and fun, and the music was good, and you was just proud. And now it's like, bruh, this ain't even fun no more. It's whack.
yeah, and all these rappers are zesty and all that. They keep wanting to go overboard and pushing LGBT agenda too. So that's my issue. Is this like you on top of all of this? Now you can't, and Obama's guilty too. So is Joe Biden. Where they care way more about pushing an LGBT agenda than a Black agenda, and I'm wondering if it's because the LGBT numbers are so small, it's easier to accommodate them than Black. That's the only thing I can think of. So. That's what I wanted to say about that. But I love Black people. I love that. But I don't know. I think we should recreate Black culture. Until then, I gotta withdraw.
Well, it's got to start with people who are reasonable, not being scared to walk away from the community and forming our own coalitions, working with other people. It's got to start with people like you, people like me, people like Aquarius Waves, Officer Tatum, even the people like AP and Sheba, like people who are willing to call out just even if it's not every inconsistency, some inconsistency. And that's what I really love. But me and AP think very similar. he's not afraid to just say the things that need to be said. Even, I like how, GMS, he gonna come more softer. Like, he gonna come with a more, like, he gonna kind of like sugarcoat the way he say. I don't want to say sugarcoat it, but he's gonna try to be the more diplomatic one, right? But it just starts with Black people saying, no, this is not cool anymore. I don't care if you don't want to be my friend. I don't care if I'm not invited to the proverbial cookout. The cookout isn't even fun anymore. It's some bullshit.
No, it is. Yeah, it's arguments, and it might be a shootout instead of a cookout. So that's how it goes now.
Please don't invite me.
But anyway, I'll let D Molly and these other ones talk. So thanks for having me on.
No, you're welcome. Anybody else want to come up? I got about 9 minutes left. Now, if nobody comes up within the next minute, I'm going to hop off. But this was a really good conversation and discussion. And like, I don't want to try to make it seem like, because people be like, somebody said something to me like, you never had anything positive to say about Black people. And it's like, bro, I have plenty positive things to say about the Black people that I hang out with. Again, I have a couple of like, now that I'm here in Medellin, like I'm exposing myself to different type of people. So I'm making friends with white people and things like that. But in terms of like, who are my ride or die people, they're all Black people, but my circle is small because it's hard to find disciplined people. The Black people that I hang around with ain't going for this kind of stuff, ain't going with the foolishness. It's calling out stuff when it's wrong. Black culture is no more. It's American culture now. I'm on the road. Okay. It's so y'all trying to invite. Is Sultry even still in the building? Again, guys, I'm gonna give somebody. I still got a little time left. You got like a minute here. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat again. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and then I will give you a minute to come up here. Hold on. If anybody wants to come, you don't have to get on camera. You can just talk on your phone if that's what you want to do. Yeah, I'm so mad. My hair got like wet when I was walking outside just now. Well, before the live, I was like out at the market with my daughter. That's one thing I love about Colombia. I go to the market. It's always fresh. You want to say hey? Y'all, my daughter wants to say hi. Thank you. This is actually a rain hat. Girl, you better throw that away. This is a rain hat. So I wore it because I knew it was going to rain. So this was supposed to protect your hair against the rain, but it penetrated. Y'all, this is my daughter, Tatiana. Say hi. You got to look at the camera.
Hello, I want more mango.
You want another mango? Okay.
Minecraft.
Okay, go get it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, I forgot to say something.
Okay.
Like and subscribe if you
Hold
like
on. You got to come over
Mariah's
here and
show.
say it.
Like and subscribe if you like Mariah's show.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, go.
Wait, can you see me do the gritty?
No, now you're doing too much. Go get it. Thank you, Jamal. Yeah, that's my little baby. Okay, nobody's coming up, which is fine. I will see y'all back on Monday. Now, if I hit my super chat goal throughout the week, next week I'll come on and do a Saturday night show. Again, you're not obligated. I don't want y'all to feel like, it's not none of that. It's extra incentive for me to come on next Saturday if that's what y'all want to do. Tati, my friend D. Malley says hi.
Hello.
Okay. With that said, I will see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend. Again, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you need to do any one-on-one coaching with me, hit me up at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I got you. See you next time. Thank you, Jamal.